Let's move on. 4th and goal. As we do every week, we've got the best and the worst. Connor, would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first this time. Starting with, I mean, we've already talked about what my best is, which is Derrick Henry against the Bills. I mean, that's kind of just, we already talked about it, so that's my best. I mean, it's hard for me to pick anything else that happened this week. But Derrick Henry versus the Bills, absolutely steamrolling that entire defense, making it look easy. Very reminiscent of him against, Auburn in college. It was fun to watch. It was great to see a running back absolutely take over a game and beat a very good team. Do I like the Bills a lot? Yeah. Was it fun to watch Derrick Henry absolutely run over everybody? Yeah, a little more than me liking the Bills. So, that's my best.
Right. I figured that'd be your best, and that's really my best too, but I decided to go with something else. I'm going to go with my best being the Raiders, because this was a prime time game for them to just quit on the season. Head coach just, quit, resigned, fired, whatever you want to call it. All the stuff that's been circulating around them this whole week. They got that interim head coach, his first time as a head coach in the league, cries at the interview because he's just, the opportunity that he's been given. And they come out and they beat the Broncos, who I know are a little bit fraudulent. Their defense is really good, and their offense isn't so good. They put up 34 points against that defense. Vic Fangio is a legit defensive coordinator. I know he's the head coach, but he's a legit defensive mind. That defense is really talented, and they put up 34 points and won the game. So, props to the Raiders. This was a prime game for them to just, be like, all right, season's washed. And they won, and now they're 4-2 on the season, I think, right now, right? Or 4-2, 4-3, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So, props to the Raiders. All right, do you want my worst first or your worst?
Let's do your worst first.
Okay, so my worst is the Browns, because they got absolutely demolished by the Cardinals. At one point, the game was close. Was not close at the end. I think they lost by 20 or 23 or something like that. They're beat up. They lost Kareem Hunt in that game. Nick Chubb was out already for that game. Kareem Hunt looks like he's going to be out for 3 weeks. Jarvis Landry's not healthy. Tristan Wirfs isn't healthy. Baker Mayfield's got a dislocated shoulder. He's not playing Thursday night. So the Browns are all sorts of beat up, and not a great time for them either, because they're starting to get to a crucial point in their schedule where the Ravens are playing really, really well and don't look like they're going to lose many games going forward as long as Lamar keeps carrying them. They're 3-3 at the moment, and their next couple games are the Broncos on Thursday night, who they're beat up, so I wouldn't be surprised if they lose that game. They've got the Steelers, who I know the Steelers are kind of struggling this year, but the Steelers and the Browns, it's a game that the Steelers get up for. So the Bengals, who are a talented team, the Patriots, who we saw could beat anybody, Lions and Ravens are their next 6 games going forward. And the Ravens, hopefully they're healthy by that point, but kind of a crucial point in the schedule here for the Browns to keep up with the Ravens and the Bengals, for that matter, who are playing out of their minds. So that it's not great time to be a Browns fan, despite the hype before the season.
No. They're in trouble, and I don't think it gets better for the Browns, unfortunately. When your rushing attack is not there, and that's your entire offense, essentially, you're not going to do well. And I think that's going to beat them up badly.
When half your offense is injured, that's probably not a good thing. Yeah. But hey, OBJ's back. So there you go, Browns fans.
Great. My worst, 2 things. One, I actually just learned about an hour before the show started. First one is the Chargers getting absolutely mauled by the Ravens. That's just not a good showing for the Chargers. They're a much better team than putting up 6 points. I know that the Ravens defense is really good, but they needed to do better than 6 points and getting blown out. Worst of the worst, if it actually happens, is comes out today that the Texans are all in and moving Deshaun Watson to the Dolphins before the trade deadline.
I saw this.
So, one, Dolphins, I get it, you're rebuilding. You're losing Jalen Waddle to the Texans if you trade for Deshaun Watson. Sorry. It's going to happen. you're going to take everything you just built with and you're going to send it to Houston for Deshaun Watson, who will not suit up for you, won't do it. There's no way. With all the stuff he's accused of, he's nowhere near playing, even if he was going to suit up for the Texans anyway with all the legal stuff. And it sounds like the Dolphins, who obviously I've never bought into Tua. He hasn't played like a quarterback. He's thrown for decent amount of yardage, but he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback. You can't do that. You stick with Tua and lose games before you trade your entire future away for Deshaun Watson. Because even if Deshaun Watson isn't playing, the Texans are still going to want a bunch for him. What are you thinking? And this sounds like it's going to happen. This isn't like it was in the preseason and earlier this year where it's like, oh, the Houstons don't want to do it, but the Dolphins, really want it. Now it's both sides are like, yeah, you guys want to give up an entire generation's worth of picks? That's fine with us. Here you go. Take this and do whatever you want with it. It's like, why? What is Miami doing? Why would you ever consider doing this? That is, if it happens, going to be the worst of the worst thing. That, one, congrats on Houston on pulling it off. They do. But two, the worst decision the Dolphins could possibly make.
We've said it before on the podcast. I don't understand the idea of giving up, like you said, an entire generation's worth of picks, like so much for a guy that might not suit up for any NFL team ever again. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is the sex offender registry a little lighter in Florida? Is that what's going on? Because, I mean, if he's guilty of what he's being accused of, he's never suiting up again. So you're going to take that risk of this guy might never play for us. And we're going to give up everything we've built. Like you said, Jalen Waddle is probably going to have to be part of that deal. Probably. You're going to lose Tua, who I know we all have mixed opinions on, but who knows? He's only, and I don't even know if he has 16 NFL starts to his name. All for, and then picks that you could use if you don't think Tua is the guy to draft someone else. This Dolphins team, they're not in the same situation as trying to think of a team that was in a similar situation. The Packers, where their core was kind of older, so you couldn't draft someone. You needed someone ready-made.
Yeah. It was like Donald Driver, young Randall Cobb, like that kind of, Aaron.
Right. So situation. They got lucky because Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, but if Aaron Rodgers didn't work out, they were going to have to look for something else. The Steelers are kind of no, because they've even gotten younger, but
yeah,
they're a young team. The Dolphins is my point. So if you need to draft another quarterback, you're not losing much time because all these guys are young. I mean, sure, you could say contracts are going to start coming up, but I mean, you're paying anything Jalen Waddle wants. He's a legit guy. Jalen Waddle is really good.
Yeah.
You can afford to let Devontae Parker go. All right. He's
not really losing a ton there.
Right. So it's a young team. They're not on the precipice of something of falling off. They're just getting started. So if they don't like Tua, they can move on to someone else. And you're going to trade everything away for a guy that won't suit up for. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. How can if this doesn't work, that GM is never getting a job in the NFL again. Brian Flores, never getting a job in the NFL again. if Deshaun Watson never suits up for them.
No, and the biggest thing is we all know Brian Flores is defensive. He's a defensive head coach, right? So how much of is Brian Flores being why are we doing this? And how much of this is, the Dolphins front office being yeah, we can win right now. Because let's be honest, as good as Deshaun Watson is, and he's not making that team better with what they're going to lose getting Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Right? That's the biggest thing. It's we got Deshaun. We don't have anyone for him to throw to. We don't have anyone for him to hand the ball off to. We have nothing for him to do. He's going to look good standing there in those.
We don't have blockers for him.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
The ankle
nothing.
bracelet he's going to have to wear will fit right in.
Yeah, well, with the rest of the stadium, because everyone else in there's probably got one too. But
Insult the entire city of Miami at that point.
but I mean, it's really the whole state of Florida, if we're being honest. But yeah, what is the thought? Why? It was like when the Bears were willing to give up all those picks for Russell. We were all like, why not? Why wouldn't you do that? The Bears are set up. They just need a quarterback.
The Bears are
question.
The Bears are a great example of that team where their defense is championship ready now, and they're not going to be championship ready in 5 years.
So that's the thing, right? Like no one questioned Russell Wilson going to Chicago. Every NFL fan outside of Seattle wanted it.
Well,
they're like, oh my, wow, yes, do it.
And you can't find Russell Wilson's face on a sex offender registry. Like,
exactly.
He's never going to wind up on there.
No, but now it's like, let's trade for a guy. Which, like, it sounds like this is a done deal at this point. Like, it's going to happen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his situation, which sounds bad.
No, but same thing. Which also sounds like it's pretty much he will probably go away. Like he might be in, an orange jumpsuit at some point in the next year. It will go down if Deshaun Watson does not play for Miami, will go down as the worst decision made by any franchise in NFL history. And it won't be close. Like, I get there's been a few but giving up what's probably going to end up being like 4 or 5 first-round picks, some players, and some other stuff. Good luck, Dolphins fans, because I feel bad.